What? You guys fucked up Christmas for us, so we're gonna do it to you.
Hey, now. You have to be talking to a Christian for that.
I'm assuming there's an English person watching.
Oh, there we go. All right, welcome. I am Michael, pronouns are he, him, and I'll be storytelling tonight. If you want to introduce yourselves.
Hi, hello, good evening. I am Laura or Tutu or Laura Tutu. My pronouns are she, they. I am playing Maxine, the Toreador, whose pronouns are she, her.
Hello, I'm Hallie or Jalapeno. My pronouns are she, her. I'm going to be playing Celeste, the Tremere, also she, her.
Hello, I'm Bran, or Son of Asgard on TikTok, World Tree Quests on Twitch. My pronouns are he, them. And I'll be playing Connell of Clan Gangrel. Pronouns are he, him.
All right, it has been a while. We had Gen Con and we had just other stuff, including like beginning of my school stuff in the way. Do we want to go over what had happened last time?
So this one time,
War.
This one time, our little Anarch coterie decided to turn coat to the Camarilla because we were tired of getting our chain yanked around. Elysium was called. It was very tense, and then we looked across the river from where the Elysium was being held, and shit blew up. The end.
War.
War.
War never changes.
What have we done?
We did nothing.
That's true. We didn't do a whole lot.
All right, so across the way, there's the explosion. You also see some gunfire taking place, kind of on that wharf, and you have suddenly, as I recall, did we still have the performers in this area, or had they been?
I think
they were like in the middle of a performance when this happened, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were like mid aerial fantasticness.
Yep. It takes a moment for someone to kind of realize. However, the entire crowd split up with the Camarilla and the Anarchs are all right now like incredibly tense, looking out over at the destruction on the Anarch side of town.
The higher ups of the Anarchs, who was here?
You had like Oriane, Nasir. You had a bunch of the higher ups.
What are they looking like right now?
All extremely tense, and Oriane just kind of spins, fangs bared, and just, what is this?
Connell's gonna bear his fangs right fucking back and just be like, I was about to ask you the exact same fucking question.
Ladies and gentlemen, and Maxine is going to step between the two of them and say in a very low voice, may I remind you that there are still Kine in the building.
Yeah, there's just a moment where she kind of just closes her mouth and such, and the fangs retract essentially. And then there's just a moment where she just sort of looks at everyone sort of gotten up. The stuff that started. Romeo just goes, we did not start this. Maxine, you're hosting.
But I am.
What
I can
do you
assure you. Is there still shenanigans going on across the river?
Yeah, I mean, there's the explosion going, there's fire. You can still see some gunfire in the distance.
Who do we have in the building who can run reconnaissance?
You got a huge amount of people for the on them, but like at this point, you've got like the Anarchs are all kind of gathering up, sort of towards one end. There's doors and such there. A lot of the dancers are starting to kind of flee. Romeo sort of turns and goes, "This is Elysium, but we should still leave."
Yes. We want to make sure there's not a panic, though. Romeo, I can assure you I knew nothing about this.
He just turns and then just like stares over at Oriane, and Oriane just kind of gives him a stare back and goes, "We will see this answered." and she turns and goes out, like some of those like large glass windows, out onto the decks that will lead outside, and the rest of the Anarchs, uh, backs very much up. A lot of them are kind of looking back at the group as the Camarilla has also sort of gathered around in case of problems as the Anarchs are taking off.
And does it look like they are all leaving with certainty? There's no chance for someone to try something stupid right now.
I mean, does it look like any of them are going to try something stupid? Or
On
what
either
if y'all-
either side.
Uh,
Either side, to be perfectly honest.
It is Elysium, and so generally, like, going against an Elysium opens up your own Elysiums, like, makes things much more dangerous. Like, once you cross that line, there really is no going back. So yeah, there's right now, you got a lot of people, like, ready, backs up, almost ready, but the Anarchs are retreating currently.
Connell.
Yeah.
You've got boots on the ground, right?
I can have people outside in minutes.
We need to know what the fuck's going on over there. Who exactly is involved?
I will look to all my gang, except the weird one. What's his name? Dwight.
Dwight?
Yeah,
Oh, the one we don't fucking like.
You like Dwight?
The one.
Just-
The one that's looking after what's her face, Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll look to the other three, and I'll just kind of like give them the signal that was given before, like, yeah, we're moving now, and we'll make our way outside. Just to clarify, we don't need to breathe, do we?
Correct.
I just wanted to clarify that we don't. Okay, cool. And yeah, we'll probably just jump. I'll probably just say to them, right? Yeah, we'll just go right in the water and go right across.
It's as long as it's dark enough and no one will see you.
Yeah.
I mean, if people
Probably
if people jump off and
move
go
it.
under, there's all sorts of reasons they might not pop back up, including being dead. But like, it's not like a thing where people necessarily go.
Moving like towards the kind of like the outside there, and if there's anybody out there, just be like, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to make your way inside, please, the host will conduct you the correct manner in which to evacuate the area safely. And then once they're all done, close the doors and like, right, lads, we're going for a swim. Woo!
Yeah, and I think that'll be the order of operations. Treat it very much like a fire drill.
Yep.
Make sure that the folks who aren't potentially clued in to the masquerade are not panicking and not taking pictures.
Okay. Yeah, and like basically the only ones who it's just like servants and the dancers right now who are, and they don't really have their phones with them. There's not a lot of places to hide them. So as you start kind of clearing all those off, Celeste, what are you doing?
Making myself kind of as small as possible, especially if this is going to break out a fight. And I'm just kind of watching and trying to listen for any clues or hints or anybody acting suspicious right now.
Okay.
Any chatter?
Biggest thing at one point, you two are both kind of near Romeo as the dancers start leaving. Romeo goes, "You'll notice we did not see a single fucking Bruja at this event."
No, I made note of that myself, and they were the ones that were most interested in stirring up trouble.
They're also the ones whose territory just took an explosion.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna guess it was light on Bruja fatalities.
John will be able to get us info on that shortly, I'm sure.
Fuck.
I always knew that they were reckless. I didn't realize how reckless.
No, they've driven things to open war in this case. We're here at Elysium, just looking straight across at those warehouses. Looks like we brought them here to show a destruction.
That kind of heat is not going to go away quickly. That kind of heat brings questions. Questions bring hunters. Do they want to tear the city apart?
I didn't think she'd be that stupid, but there's every chance she was also driven to it by the Bruja.
Storyteller, when Oriane was facing off, was there anything that would have given her away as like either lying about her involvement, or did she look genuinely shocked?
Everyone seemed pretty fucking like surprised at the explosion. across the way. It's one of those things where if she had it, you wouldn't have seen it in the moment because you were looking the direction of the explosion, because that's where the performance was taking place. But she seemed like as furious as you've ever. Well,
Yeah.
as
Well, okay,
furious you've
'cause,
seen her since the vocal slip.
because the explosion happened, she turned and bared her teeth, and Connell tried to get up in her face. I imagine we were looking head on at her for at least a second there.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying when the
It's
actual
so-
explosion happened, nobody like everyone was looking out that way, so you wouldn't have seen reaction then. But afterwards, she was fucking furious. She was mad enough to bare her fangs in a place with Kine in there.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, Maxine would make that point. I have made her mad before. I don't think I've ever seen her quite that pissed off. She was showing the beast for a minute there in public. What if this is what Bruja's doing?
Wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, they're always the ones who are gunning for revolution, gunning for the next fucking cause. What if they got tired of waiting?
We kind of provided the perfect opportunity for them to do this too.
We made their Baron look bad.
Kamal, go ahead and make wits plus athletics.
Wits plus athletics. I can.
Partly it's
definitely-
because the where you're going, it's a little hard the longer you're underwater, just to know exactly what direction you're headed or where things are at. So some would depend on like how quickly you reach the other side, where you want to.
Where is my? There it is. I got it. Never mind. I couldn't find my character sheet. Wits and athletics, you said, yeah?
Yep.
Wits and oh man, I'm bad at athletics. Haha, nope.
All right.
Straight up failures.
So yeah, you're on your way over. When you come up at one point, sometimes the problem with being a vampire, not necessarily breathing, particularly if you forgot to when you went down, is you will sort of stay down. They're like your buoyancy goes away a bit. So like a little bit of a fight to get up there and get a little bit of air in the lungs, and you find like you're a little further off than you want to be. So by the time you make it over by where that's at, you've got some of the fire trucks and such around. It's taken a little bit of time. You do, however, as you're there, you got the fire trucks going. You can see some of them sort of pointing. There's like a flashlight thing. They're kind of like a little searchlight. They're kind of looking through the water, and you do catch. There are a couple bodies floating in the water.
Oh, motherfuckers.
Do I recognize any of the bodies from where I am?
Okay. From where you're at now, they're all face down, so it's hard to tell. They're also, they're all dressed in black as well, and so like, to get them, you'd have to get up closer. But you also do have those searchlights looking.
Do any of my gangrel colleagues have aerial familiars?
No, none that are with you.
None. Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to do what I'm good at. I'm gonna. I actually had written down, if I can remember where I put it. The actual
Need a gator
roles.
buddy.
Yeah, I need a gator buddy, but I can't remember what the role is that I do for that. Wait, actually, I've got it down here. Never mind. I got it down here. Aha!
It'll be on your sheet.
It is
too, probably.
Thanks, Fantasy Grounds.
It's a awareness and wits. I'm pretty sure it is.
For Fair Whispers.
Yeah, to get a gator to come.
Charisma plus animalism. Some of the animals uses charisma plus animalism.
Charisma plus animalism. That's it.
Yeah, it'll be on Pharaoh Whispers.
So
you click on the plus for.
Yeah, I got it.
Gotcha.
Sweet. Oh no, shit! No, what are you doing? No, don't. Fuck off. Animalism, right, and then charisma. Back to charisma. Where's charisma? There it is. There we go. Oh my god, I suck
Ooh.
today.
Okay. You
Can you
can,
willpower
you
it?
can spend a point of willpower.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, man. Like, fuck that.
What in the shit and dicks?
Spending willpower. How many dice does that let me reroll?
I think it's 3 if you hit the little SP for willpower.
Mm-hmm. It's up to 3.
Up to 3. So I need to spend 3 willpower. Yeah.
No, you don't spend 3 willpower. You
No, just
roll.
one willpower will let you spend. Let you reroll 3.
All right, cool. Fuck.
2. We'll say, in this case, for Fire Whispers.
No,
Never gonna
Connell's.
dance again. Connell's got the
Because I just
feather
cut
in
your
his face.
spinal
He's
column.
coming again
What?
here inside New Orleans. I'm gonna guess
Damn it.
gators. I'm gonna guess gators aren't terribly uncommon. Two here is going to be enough, but because of the bestial failure part, when you bring them, like when you kind of summon them, they are like they start. There's several of them that kind of come in. They are thrashing and making kind of a lot of noise, and you see them all like suddenly the searchlights kind of checking where they're at. First of all, go ahead and make a rouse check for hunger.
Today's not my day. Oh, today's
Alright.
really not my day. Oh man, I'm at 3 hunger.
So with that one, as you summoned in kind of a bunch of gators, now you need to do the performing the service manipulation plus animalism. The gators, you can kind of feel the hunger as they're coming in, and in certain respects, your body is not a whole lot different than the bodies that are floating in the water. All right. So, what do you do? What do you have them do? Is you feel them kind of coming your way, and lots of sort of hunger.
So
there?
what I wanted them to do is as they were coming towards me, I wanted to get them to basically just, yeah, cool, go for the bodies. Cool, go for it. But leave the face, and while you're tossing them about, try and flip them round so I can, basically eat, but don't eat the face.
Okay.
And then I'd be watching as they eat and as they thrash it around, wait until it eventually flips and I can get a look at the face.
All right, make another rouse check for the roll you just made for manipulation.
Oh my god, I'm so gonna die.
That die, you'll be real hungry, depending. All right, success. Yeah, as one of them kind of like you see one of the bodies kind of go into a death roll, which is and the body kind of disappears underneath. And then like there's some thrashing that comes near you, and then shortly after, like kind of near you in the water, there's a bump of just a body that has been let go. Yeah,
Okay,
your light
I
was really
will.
weird for a second.
Sorry, give me a moment. Yeah, my light fell off my desk.
Breaking shit.
Yeah, just
Like it
breaking
is.
shit. Okay, so in that case, a body bumps near me.
And it's the one that got grabbed in the roll. You kind of grabbed it.
Okay.
It sort of rolled, and now it just kind of bumps towards you as you manage to get the body kind of close to you. At this point, you don't have the searchlights over in your direction because all of you are sort of far enough away.
Then I will look very quickly at its face to see if I can recognize it.
While you don't recognize the person that was there, there is a certain kind of look to an operator. To like ex-military who's hired out for mercenary gigs, like the clothing and such fits. They've got like is a quick check shows there's no personal identification on them right now, but you've got weapons and such stowed away. It's one of those things that even though you've only been back for a certain amount of time, you recognize a mercenary when you see one.
Does he get any knives on him?
Mm-hmm.
I will take his combat knife.
Okay.
Those types usually carry like an insignia on them.
That was going to be my next question.
Actually, there's nothing to identify them on them, and that which means it was probably paid. I mean, this is a gig they're doing that takes place on American soil, so they've scrubbed themselves of all of that. However, This one, like his throat has been completely ripped open. Like it looks like just like sliced out. Probably, you're guessing probably a machete. It was used like some sort of a knife or something. The Bruja don't tend to have like the claws.
Yeah, I was about
expecting,
to
like,
say that sounds
Mhm.
bruja, like the throat being ripped. That
Yeah.
sounds um
Yeah, well, yeah. Well,
throat being
actually, you
sort
can
of,
almost see some like finger marks in it, and there's definitely like arm has been broken, like on the what's probably his firing hand. That wrist there has been broken, and you can actually see fairly close to not just that arm, but also close to like the shirt. There are a few places like some slight burns from like probably like gunfire. Not that went out there, but like firing a gun that happened to be fairly close to his body, unless there's slight burns on the clothing.
okay.
Yeah,
I'll take kind of note. I'll take kind of note of all that information, and then I'll look to my gangrel that followed me, and just kind of give them a nod of like, um, I've checked this one. Like, let's try and get a bit closer to where the
Okay.
gunfire actually took place.
yeah. Roland just kind of nods, and he just goes, takes a bit of a breath, goes under. And like he's working his way. Are you staying out there, or are you going with him?
I'm going to go with him. I'm going to get all of us kind of try and moving towards the where the actual gunfire was taking place.
So like you've got firefighters right now on the because like the as you get kind of closer and you pop up at one point, you got the firefighters battling the blaze because there was an explosion. There was also fire taking place. It looks like a good portion of the inside of a warehouse. You see crates and such that have been destroyed. Every once in a while, as you catch some of the light kind of coming through, you can catch like some bullet holes that have been here or there.
Right.
But the place itself seems to have been mostly the explosion and then bullet holes, from what you can tell. But you've got, like I said, you got the firefighters working on bringing down the blaze.
Okay. Does it look like there's a way for me to get any closer without being seen, or would it just be too much of a risk?
Make a Dex plus stealth.
Dex plus stealth. Please don't kill me. My Dex is all right. Where's my stealth? Ah, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you kind of get your way up to like a ladder that'll take you on the far side. Right now, the most of the fire and such is on the other side of the docks. You're kind of coming from behind it. You don't have the firefighters here as of yet, and right now the helicopters that are kind of circling up ahead, you can get to a point where they're not kind of looking your way. So you as you kind of sneak up on there, there are the doorways facing kind of out towards the dock itself, and you see some damage or several windows that have been blasted out. Some of them looks like they went in the explosion. Some of the other ones in places that are still kind of put together. You've definitely got bullet holes in some of those that have shattered out a few.
Right. Is there anything I can see that gives me any kind of clue as to is this a place that would be Bruja owned?
Oh, you know this like this
Oh, I'd
particular
already know that.
yeah
Right.
this particular. I will say make an intelligence plus probably
That was a good sound.
intelligence plus awareness.
Intelligent. Okay.
Did you dump intelligence?
Of course I did. Hey, fuck you, Wucky. That's Oh, why are you not loading?
It may just take a second. All right,
Two.
two successes.
Woo!
You're able to kind of get where it looks like you actually can see a bit of a I want to call it landing craft, but it's just more like a small inflatable boat that's kind of down by one side. As you get there, over by that point, nobody's watching right now because the firefighters are working elsewhere. You manage to sneak over, and what you notice is there are some bullet holes that are in the doors. Part of the window has been brought out. but the door leading into the this part of the like warehouse itself is still locked.
So they didn't come in. So I'm inside the warehouse. Everything's all blowed to uckety fuckety, but the door into the warehouse is still locked.
And you can see
Yes,
like
so-
there's some gunfire and such that's taken place through it. But the kind of the area where is you kind of poked out at one point and saw that there's a boat essentially tied to one of the ladders that lead up, a small one that they would have been able to kind of come across on. Plenty of like lots of bullet holes in that area, but the door itself is still locked.
And can I see if this door leads outside or if it leads?
It's the one that leads directly
Or...
outside, essentially from where if you came up, this would be the door that would be closest to you.
So
If you came up from the
people
dinghy
that-
or from the boat.
So people could have came in and been locked inside. Okay. As if- So Connell's going to kind of have a look around it. Can I see any bodies?
No, there are like inside there are no bodies, and when you look out, it looks like there's you can see blood in some places, but like there's no actual bodies on. It looks like everything's been thrown into the water.
Okay. And the ones that were thrown in, could I at least tell if they were all human or if they were?
Yeah, the others kind of went and checked. Like they're essentially all going to check out. They actually do find like some tattoos and such. A couple of the tattoos are brought back. In some ways, it will leave to your imagination.
Yeah, we're
But they're-
gangrel, like, you know.
Yeah, they're-
that's
they're-
how we do it.
There are some they do find like some military unit tattoos that they bring back.
Okay. I will gather up all the artwork.
Mhm.
And
Well, the other
Okay.
gangrel have is they found the bodies. They've been like, oh, let's take this arm. This arm has got like a logo for a unit on the arm tattooed
Yeah.
on there, and
Love that.
So I'll kind of take stock of everything I've got, and then I'm going to be like, there's a boat down there. That's going to be our last port of call. Then we'll take that back over.
taking back
Once
over
you
might
get
be
that-
hard because they are still kind of monitoring the bay. This looks like the way that they came because it was a small black inflatable
okay.
boat that looks like they came, tied it to the bottom, made their way up, and that's where the
Then-
fight. And from where you were at when you saw the machine gun fire, that's about probably where that attacks happened.
Okay, then in that case, we check out this boat. If it has nothing in it, we're heading back. If it has anything in it, we're investigating, and then we head back. Everybody square on that? Good, grand. One of you watch the back. We don't want to be getting snuck up on. And if you smell any brouhaha coming, be ready to make sure they ain't going. And then I'm gonna head down towards the boat
Okay.
to check that out.
All right.
And it'll be checking out the boat, and then if there's nothing of interest, heading back to
Yeah,
where
because you're also
Celeste
losing some time as
Celeste.
the firefighters are starting to
Yeah.
make their way around. And you got police starting to show up, and you kind of head down the boat. The boat itself looks like you see some extra things of ammunition in there. It's got like a small, fairly quiet motor that's a part of it. Looks like a thing that they probably. It's kind of a decent sized inflatable. There was probably 6 or 7 people on here. Made their way in, tied it up, came up. Just a few things, I said, for some extra ammunition and such back here, but not a whole lot on the boat itself.
Okay. Well, then in that case, right, there's nothing here, so we head back.
All right. Yeah, make your way through the water, and it takes you a little bit, but you make your way back. What have y'all been doing at the like you've got like a little bit of a work council started with Romeo and some of his folks. What are the rest of you doing while you're at I can't remember the name of the place anymore that we used.
The river
Yeah,
view.
like the riverfront something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would we be able to speak to any of the Nos with the tower? Essentially maybe see if right before shit went down there was any weird chatter. Like, I know for the most part, kindred tend to be smarter about that kind of thing, but if they had anybody on the outside.
Yeah, you kind of catch Rita at one point as she's kind of heading towards where the council is.
Rita.
Yes, child.
That was real unsettling, Michael. Thanks.
Yep, that was good.
If I didn't hate Nosferatu, I certainly do now.
I love Nas.
I love them. They're wonderful. Creepy as all shit. Was there any chatter tonight or the days leading up to this?
There's anything that came through, nothing we were aware of. We've been searching, we've been looking, but we're looking more for problems in this area. We weren't looking over there. No reason to watch the docks.
No. It's just that considering where the altercation happened, it seems awful convenient to me.
Oh, it seems very convenient. They knew pretty much every kindred in the city knew that we would be looking straight across. The problem is, well, I don't think there's any of the Camarilla stupid enough to do this, and I don't think Romeo would have been quite stupid enough to do this to declare open war. I also don't know if the Anarchs are that stupid. I'm sorry, it wouldn't be Rita. It would be Rita as the Anarch one. This would be Katya.
Equally creepy, though.
Yeah, the same voice, everything else. Just there's just a quick glitch, and then the actor changes.
The Matrix resets.
She goes, I did have the privilege, though, of seeing Rita seemed a little surprised about what happened. I don't know if I've seen her taken aback before.
No. I will say there was one particular Bruja who seemed to take pleasure in threatening me before we made the cross.
Only one?
Piotr? Potato face looking bastard.
I know him. It could be Peter. Could also have been an opportunity for Oriane to start a war or for Romeo to start a war.
Like you
Question
said,
is, who wants the war?
I would hope no one, considering what happens when there is open warfare in any city. We've already dealt with the threat of the Sabbat. Why would anybody want to cause so many problems so quickly?
Have you ever thirsted for power?
Not so much.
Imagine yourself empty. When your blood is low, when you feel that pulse deep in your veins where you just need something from someone and you know you won't be able to stop yourself. That draw that the blood has, any who think that power doesn't have that same draw are either a fool or lying.
Power won't do much for you if you meet the true death before you get it.
No one ever thinks they're the one that are going to die. Well, no one who ever starts these things thinks they're the one that are going to die. There's so many more expendable people around.
We may be long-lived, but we're only long-lived if we're smart about it. This wasn't smart for anyone.
Well, it depends where you're sitting. There's some who will be fairly safe. There's some who often yearn for even open warfare. At the end of it, what happens if both the Anarchs and the Camarilla are weakened? Or what if one side gets advantage over the other?
Power vacuum.
There's a lot of kindred could gain quite a bit from a war. It's just figuring out which ones are desperate enough to need it.
Anytime I think I've got a handle on this new unlife, shit like this pops up.
Thing to remember is you have no friends. You have no allies of love. You've got no connections that draw you in except for your coterie. Everyone else is an ally of convenience. And this is as true for you as it is for every one of us. Your coterie you can count on. Anyone else is suspect. And I must be going.
Of course. Thank you for the insight, Katya.
She makes her way into the room where Romeo and his are discussing quite excitedly and angrily.
I don't think Maxine would presume to try and join, but is there anything in particular that she might be able to overhear?
Part of the stuff you can overhear bits of it as it gets a little bit louder.
She'll wander a little bit closer if she has to, but she's not gonna.
Yeah, the couple
He
things you
obviously
overhear that
is
get kind of louder. Essentially, like you have like Romeo kind of angrily asking, if it wasn't Oriane, plenty of those on her side are not underneath her thumb. Who do we have that might be the weakness that caused this to happen if this came from our side? Or if it's the Sabbat, one of them was still out here, and like as they're talking quite. It gets a little bit softer again as the anger kind of subsides a bit, but it sounds like they're trying to like figure out a bunch of different angles.
Knowledge of the Sabbat. They work in cells, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Safe to assume that the one that we took down probably wasn't the only one.
It's hard to tell. I mean, they may have been the only one in New Orleans. There could be others. You do know that basically the top of the cell is going to know other cells, and you're almost positive that the one that escaped definitely outranked the ones that you got.
Hold on. Notes.
Celeste, what are you doing?
So after eavesdropping for a bit, I think she's gonna walk towards the like the riverfront and kind of like look down either direction and just see if she can see anything from this side of the river. Anything suspicious? Maybe someone climbing out of the water on this side, or
Well, you'll eventually
Things
see
like
that
that.
as Connell and the rest are making their way towards it. Yeah, as you're looking over, you can see both police have shown up. The helicopters are kind of coming around, going through. You see some boats coming in to fish some of the bodies out of the water. There actually seem to be a number of alligators thrashing in that area. And then as you're sort of sitting there watching, at one point you see like a hand come out of the water and kind of grab one of the ladders as Connell, as y'all have walked across the bottom to make your way to the side.
Full on Pirates of the Caribbean, that
Yep.
shit.
Pretty much, except you don't need the oxygen.
You
Lads,
didn't either.
Oh, yeah, that's right. At one point, they're
Hey.
walking through.
take a walk.
Take a walk.
So
They're
we're
definitely
back.
right.
So we're back at the place now.
Mhm.
Cool. Get up and just hold up arms like
Connell, what in the Sam hell?
this wasn't me.
Uh,
Oh, and then rotate them. They have tattoos.
Oh,
Yeah, someone
okay.
comes listen knowing Nasir comes out. Fuck, not Nasir. Aladdin. I'm looking at the wrong side of the relationship map. Aladdin comes out and just sort of looks and goes,
If Nazir pops up, we're
Yeah.
going to be having a whole different type of
I was
interaction.
gonna say that's a problem.
yeah.
I'm going to have a whole new arm to add to my collection.
Yeah, as Aladdin comes out and goes, oh, actually, let me see. Looks it over and just goes, Blackwater. And then he names off a particular squad. Like, yeah, these are from the 41st.
The 501st.
Yes,
Yeah.
these are from the 501st. He goes,
Fucking cosplayers.
yeah. He goes,
Over here pretending.
He goes, I'm aware this is a company that saw a lot of action in Afghanistan, a lot of shit on the ground. They're very popular as far as operators go in this area. Also, some Blackwater tattoos. These are mercenaries who got hired by somebody.
Connell, is this
Well,
what you found across the river?
Yeah, I had some scaly friends retrieve some stuff. I'm really hungry. Is there anything anywhere nearby?
It's a Burger King down the street.
Taco Bell's still open this time of night.
Oh god, it probably is.
There was also there was a warehouse that seemed to be where the majority of the shooting took place. Um, but the door inside was locked. So it seems to me like there was a boat sitting out nearby as well. And it looked like you'd come up from the boat, come through this door, and then be inside the warehouse. So it looked to me like some people were lured here under like some kind of banner or trust or whatever. And then something went down.
All of the ones in the water, were they all human?
Well, I didn't recognize any faces, if that's what you're asking.
Fuck.
Kindred have a habit of, if they die, air kind of going out and them just sinking.
We were on the bottom. It sounds to me like the brew had decided to take things into their own hands.
Great.
So I think we should be paying Piotr a visit.
Any idea what might be in that warehouse?
Whatever is there is not going to be in many pieces.
Was the storyteller, the warehouse itself, was it still partially like standing, or was that just
There was partially standing. There was an explosion inside that blew out part of the warehouse. The back part of it was actually in fairly okay condition. That's the one that Connell kind of snuck into. But like there was fire and a lot of damage done on the kind of the roadside of the away from the dock itself.
Aladdin, do you know? Does anybody on this side know what exactly they were storing there?
Bruja, it's a little hard to tell. While some of us have been checking some things out, normally what you find there is, last I checked from our intelligence, what we had was explosives, some weapons. Beyond that, it seemed to have been focal point for them to store drugs that were then used, that were sold to help fund some of their other activities.
That would account for the big kaboom. All in all, though, drugs can be replaced. So can ammunitions. As far as a monetary hit, that doesn't seem terribly something they'd miss awful much.
This was all for show.
It could be a bit of a hit, but probably not enough to move the needle too much.
No. If somebody just wanted to flex. Have Romeo and the I guess the higher ups, have they been on the lookout for a Lasombra recently, besides Mandy?
Everyone's been keeping an eye out, but the problem with Lasombras are a little hard to track down. Hard to know exactly who Kindred are, and we can't necessarily track them on camera.
No. Would we saw the Lasombra, right?
Mm-hmm. You definitely recognize him.
I might have a face at the very least. I don't know how helpful that'll be for anything, considering, well, we won't be able to hunt them down on the internet.
And to be honest, this is probably something you've already given, because it's like you're given the information that you're able to.
Mm. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make a goddamn sense. I understand the want for power and the want to make sure everybody knows that you're the baddest dog on the street, but we are already tangled with the sect that wants to show how powerful we are, have us own the night and the day. Shit like this so quick after that, it's fucking suicide.
So we're grasping at straws here, just assuming that it could be the Sabbat. The most likely thing here is that the Brujah decided to take things into their own hands. We find Piotr, we make him talk, And if we believe what he says, then we look at the Sabbat option. But there's no point assuming the devil when there's a priest nearby.
I admit I did not spend a lot of time with the Bruja when we were of the Anarch persuasion. They don't suit my taste. She kind of gestures to her couture ball gown. That might have to be your doing, Connell, darling.
They're
could be-
definitely my taste.
I can be persuasive, but that's about as far as it go. Aladdin, is there anything you need from us?
If you know anything, let us know. Right now, we're trying to figure out how bad this gets.
Are any of the anarchs still here?
There's a few that are hanging around, but most have actually headed out at this point.
I'm gonna just point to the nearest one. Oi, you!
Yeah.
Where's Piotr?
Oh, sorry, Anarchs. None of the Anarchs are here. I thought you meant.
All right,
camp.
okay.
Yeah, I thought you meant
No,
camp.
no,
Sorry.
no. Okay, then Connell's just gonna. I guess Connell's gonna he's gonna go to Celeste first, just be like, I'm not gonna tell you not to do nothing, all right? Because I know that's like telling a fly not to lick shit. But just be careful, okay?
I will.
Right. And then you'll go to Maxine and be like, no words, just the same. Be careful, all right?
Careful is my
Don't give me the
middle name.
face.
What?
Okay.
What face? I'm not giving you any
Careful.
kind of.
Careful is not your middle name, okay? Careful has never been anywhere near whatever they note down your name on, okay? There has been many nicknames in the world thrown around for you in the time that I've known you, Maxine. Careful has never been one of them, all right?
Wait. What nicknames? What are you talking
If
about?
I come back alive, I'll tell you at least two.
Yes, Dad.
Please don't ever call me that. And then he's gonna head out. He's gonna go and try and find a Bruja.
Okay.
Any Bruja. Pick a Bruja. Any Bruja.
I would say Celeste as Connell's sort of taking off. Faez kind of comes in and sort of over by you. He still takes off and just looks at you and goes, "Where the fuck is Connell going?"
Doesn't matter. He's heading home.
He's not going to fuck with the Anarchs right now, is he?
No, we're not idiots.
Okay, thing to keep in mind is none of them are going to be by themselves. Probably a good idea if he's going someplace you're all with him. Right now, what we need to do is go to ground, wait to see what happens.
Okay, so just sit around and wait.
Unless you've got a better idea, that's what we're planning on doing.
Not particularly.
No. In case you haven't noticed, I'm not exactly a war tactician.
Well, get your people together then. It kind of looks good. Sabina, and then Sabina comes over and they've gathered a few of their particular coterie and goes, "All right, we're heading home. Good luck."
Be careful.
We should probably go with him.
Yeah, let me go put something on the. Not this.
I'll page him.
Oh, he has a cell phone now.
Okay.
It's
Plus,
just
calls
he
up.
You can only like answer calls. He can't text her.
Oh God. No, Maxine pulls off her fucking 6-inch stilettos and calls up her goddamn car to get them back to the safe house.
I mean, at that point, Connell's probably just got outside, so like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hustle outside. Wait, Connell, we're coming with.
Well, we're coming with once I'm no longer this, and she's.
But we gotta
no
go
longer...
home because Maxine has to change. She doesn't want
So
to
do
stain
you.
her dress.
So do you. What, you want to go running around in that getup?
I mean, in
I mean,
all
the platforms
fairness-
are pretty standard for me, but the skirts. are a
That
little
honey,
much.
that petticoat is gonna get stuck on the first fence we come round.
In all
You're gonna be-
fairness, like it would be nice to get back and take off these ridiculous fucking trousers.
I thought the trousers looked nice. Shit.
Oh no, they do look nice. It's just like, you know, for crouching, you know, there's not a lot of give.
They're
No, you're-
soaked right now.
Yeah, they're also they're drenched. We're gonna have to.
I gotta hide behind this wall.
Yeah, no, you're gonna split the back.
Just picture Connell just in America while fighting. Would you fucking? That's better.
Can't lift my arms.
All right.
So yeah, we're gonna go change, and then we're
Yeah.
gonna go poking around a little bit. We're gonna get food first, though.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Connell needs
Little
to-
snacks.
Yeah, if everyone just wants to
Little
make a quick hunting roll,
I do.
you can actually probably use. I'm assuming, are you just kind of grabbing people off the street?
I
Nearest
would.
person tackled into an alleyway.
Oh Jesus! I would like to at least like. Let me do the Toreador thing, where I at least make them like me first. The fuck?
Yeah, I've got 3 in hunger, man. I'm just looking for somebody that looks remotely a little bit drunk and tackling them into an alleyway.
I'm assuming
I
Maxine's
don't
probably
need
doing
to
some
eat.
stuff with what awe.
Yeah, a little bit of awe, but let's also she's feeling a little vindictive, so if she finds some asshole who's potentially slipped something into a lady's drink,
That would take you a lot of time to go around and look for stuff like this. I mean, are you
Mm.
grabbing someone off the street, or are y'all? Because like if you do that, it's going to be probably most of the night to actually go and properly find someone if you're doing it that way. If you kind of mug
fuck it.
someone off the street, that's a whole lot easier.
Storyteller, is Kevin Sorbo in town? Finish off the family tree.
can we, you know what? We've got a gangrel on board. Can we wolf pack this shit?
You want to tackle a couple people?
No, we could share one, maybe 2.
One, probably kill one.
Yeah, because I don't really need to eat right now because I accidentally.
Celeste, you're a growing girl. You your vegetables.
Celeste
Hey.
accidentally killed somebody
Hey.
I
already.
killed somebody. You helped me clean
Hey.
it up.
Hey, if we find a vegan, then technically that's her eating her vegetables.
Ah, yes.
All right. So Michael, would
I-
one person be enough for 2
You could-
kindred?
You could probably do. You probably want 2 people, but I'd say strength plus brawl. If someone's helping, Connell get an extra die for each person helping.
I'll help Connell.
Yeah, I'll help wherever necessary.
Strength.
Want to make sure
plus
it's in a
brawl.
dark area of town. We're not going anywhere near fucking Bourbon Street right now.
Hold on.
Then you get extra dice.
Yeah, I've just clicked on it. So are both of you helping me?
Yeah.
That's 2
Right.
extra dice.
Get a little. God damn. It's a lot of fucking dice.
That was a lot of
Bad
dice.
successes.
It's a lot of fucking dice.
4 in strength, 2 in brawl, and then 2 extra for both of you helping. So 8 dice all in all.
Oh yeah, if you want to tell me how you grab the person.
So Connell, obviously Connell's a hunger 3 at this point. So he's like, you know, ears are slightly pointed, nails are getting all bag lady, saber tooth style.
Bagley.
It's like from X-Men Origins, and he's like Sabretooth and Deadpool are giving each other lies, and then and he goes like, "Careful, Wader, I might find out what your insides looks like." And he goes, "Yeah, you're right. I have to be scared of a guy with nails like a bag lady."
Like a bag lady.
So yeah, you get the nails are out, and pretty much as soon as they get to like a quiet spot, and he sees like just anybody drunk in an alleyway, it's not even like there's no decorum about it. He's like going forward, like almost on all fours, and then just springing at like he looks more like Pushin than anything else at this point.
All right, yeah, you managed to tackle, like, there's 2 people who both are, again, fairly drunk as they're making their way through, because there's nice thing about New Orleans, not a lot of, not really hard to find drunk people wandering around. So yeah, maximum non-harmful drink from a human is 2.
That's all we need. I'd be dumb.
So I got rid of 2 hunger, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right, we good at taking a quick bio break?
Let's go.
Battle
All
break.
right, back in about 5 or 10.
5 to 10.
All right.
Thank you, 10. Let's go.
All right. So you head back. You all get changed. You grab your stuff.
Yep. We got
Yep.
changed. We had a snack.
All right. And where are you headed?
We're following Connell because Connell knows where
Would
to
they-
find people.
Would they have relayed to him that, we'd be kind of told to go to ground?
Yeah. I think as we're like changing, Maxine would have pulled him aside and be like, I understand the desire to get shit done as quickly as possible, but the general consensus in the Ivory Tower is lay low,
Well,
especially consider
If that's what they're telling us to do, then that's what we do. We lay low.
especially considering none of them are going to be on their own tonight.
So are you laying low or are you going hunting? They're laying low. Doesn't mean you have to, but that's what the general consensus is.
How stubborn is Connell feeling?
Yeah, we were strongly
Connell.
advised.
We were strongly advised.
The beast is very much on the edge. Connell is very, very like this is probably the closest to like near feral that you might have seen him. Like actually seen him. He's been feral before, but like Gangrel tend to do that on their own.
That's just kind of the vibe.
But if Maxine and Celeste were to ask, he'd probably stay. Because he gives a fuck. He'll never tell them.
But
But he gives
no, I heard you talking to Celeste. I mean, I Maxine didn't. I did.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Hallie will corroborate.
Oh yes, absolutely. He loves us, and there's no taking that back.
No takesies, backsies.
The only thing Connell loves is Pushin. And even then, that's iffy.
If you think we can do this quick and quiet, I'm inclined to trust you.
But we're not
But-
letting you do it on your own.
No.
If they said go to ground, then we'll go to ground. We play this careful. Bruja are. It's not like sneaking up on a Toreador. It's not like getting the better of a Tremere. It's not
Hey.
like
I know, but hey,
Bruja are. They're scrappers. They know how to throw down. And
Right. I usually carry a gun.
I'm not willing to risk both of you on your end.
They're going to be on edge for a while. Something like this, it doesn't just roll off.
Connell's going to get like a kind of 1,000-yard stare kind of look and be like, be about 3 days doing nothing except waiting. And the waiting will just be there, scratching at the back of your throat, making you want to bite and rip and tear everything. But after that 3 days, it'll become like a cycle. You go over it in your head. Every move you're gonna make. 3 days. 3 days before something else happens. That's what I give it.
Storyteller, I think we're actually going to be smart about this.
Okay.
We're going to lay low as recommended.
So you're doing
We're not
the-
happy about it.
You're doing
Nope.
the things the players don't do.
What's that? Being sensible?
We're
Not
being
in my Christian
sensible.
Minecraft server.
God damn it. Fuck.
All right, let me.
I imagine there's about to be a lot of pacing in our little safe house and having to take Connell out on walks.
Connell needs to go on walkies.
I will have you know Connell is an outdoor cat.
You're not allowed off of our rooftop.
So let's take a bit of a temperature check here. What do you all
Okay.
like? What do these characters think is happening like right now in the city? This probably some of the discussion that you all have.
Connell Connell knows war. He spent years involved in, albeit close to 1,000 years ago. But war is war, and the major parts of it never change. So Connell was probably one of the first people to go, this is war. This is what's happened here. This is the beginning of it. As much as this is not meeting up on the battlegrounds and squaring off and drawing lines and who's taking what land, Connell is expecting the skirmishes to start soon. The hit and runs, the targeting vital areas and doing like strafing attacks. He's essentially creating a full out map of war in his head and kind of going, this would be the most sensible place to hit first. And then I would go here. And then I'd probably hit both these at the same time. But they'll probably hit here, so we should heavily. He's building a battle map in his head, basically.
Okay, what about Maxine and Celeste?
Maxine has never seen a battlefield. Closest she ever got was the kitchen in that little house, that little shack that she grew up in the bayou. So I would say she is surprisingly off kilter for someone who is usually pretty unflappable. Because for the most part, this little coterie had managed on their own and taken care of themselves and been left alone. And then that poor little Lasombra got chucked into the front door. I think she would be doing her best to provide the intel that she knows of specifically where the money is on the side of the Anarchs, the money and the political connections,
Okay.
because that is the most like short of Ventru, that is probably one of the most Toreador things you can be focused in on.
Okay.
So the police commissioner, the alderman, the deputy mayor, the folks that she knew from her old life who are aware of the masquerade and have decided to play the game.
Okay. And for Celeste?
This is still very young, especially compared to everyone else. So she's obviously never experienced anything quite like this, especially coming off of like her little rebellious stage of getting away from the people that she initially thought she wanted to be around and then coming back to them. It's been a big emotional turmoil for her. So she's more nervous than anything because she used to think she was invincible since she had the embrace and then got her ass handed to her a few times and was really like realizing she needs to stay back and focus more on intel. It's like right now she would, if she still had her books, she'd be looking through them, trying to find any sort of blood sorceries or rituals for anything that she could help for intel wise. But as of right now, she's more scared and feels very out of her depth at the moment.
Okay.
Not quite knowing where to stand with all of the political dealings and stuff.
All right.
So she probably wouldn't admit it to everybody, but
So, looking for rituals and stuff to help. Like, what kind of things do you think that she would be going after, as far as trying to help either the Anarch or the Camarilla cause?
so right now it'd be pretty much anything for like spy scrying purposes. So like she has the one, what's it called? The Illuminate the Trail of Prey ritual that she uses frequently. It'd be more things like that. I believe there is one that is specifically to never find my blood sorcery list. Because I think there is one that helps. She'd be doing maybe looking at other wards as well.
Words for sure.
Wards would be good. Is it Eyes of the Nighthawk?
Ooh. Sounds like fun.
Yeah, she'd be looking at like an Eyes of the Nighthawk ritual, so she could see through the eyes of a bird essentially.
Okay. Is that one you have yet? Or is that what
No.
you're looking for? Okay. So one thing I might do is, if we're okay with kind of calling it here soon, because we probably have about half an hour or so left. But I'm thinking what I want to do is actually do a little bit of prep some stuff, partly to have where we can have like a 3-pronged thing going. Because it sounds like Celeste might be working more closely with Connell, like actually like using like the to find people and then to use the other stuff where we've got Maxine maybe helping choose some targets and getting
Choose
some other
targets.
getting some other stuff set up and ready.
I also think there's a chance that she would potentially be hoping to work her way into the War Council,
Okay.
potentially through her connection with the Toreador Primogen, because they have a decent relationship.
Okay.
As
Yes.
you can have
So
with-
if we're okay with kind of calling it an end here soon for tonight, so I think what we can do is we can get some stuff where we can get kind of some back and forth, get all three of you next time doing some of the stuff. It looks like Celeste will probably be helping out with Connell. Maxine will be specifically going into stuff about the possibly giving some targets for everybody. So we can kind of get the three of you working together in some interesting
I've
ways
got our list
to make some stuff happen. Some of that'll be easier if I get some stuff ready. We only have about half an hour or so for me anyway, because I'm still getting used to
So you have to get up at the ass crack of dawn,
Yeah.
don't you?
The thing is, honestly, I would usually get up around the same time anyway, but it's just like getting back into that. It's a little tiring that first week or two where you get used to back with the kids again.
You got to be people.
All right, you want to let people know who you are and where we can find you?
Hi, friends. You can call me Laura or Tutu or Laura Tutu. You can find me on most of the socials, including Twitter and TikTok as Laura_Tutu. You might just have to throw an underscore at the beginning and the end of that. I have been your Toreador, Maxine. Obviously, you can find me here on Tuesdays with these lovely people. You can also find me on Wednesdays playing some Dungeons and Dragons with Bran and Haley in Bran's lovely homebrew world over on the World's Guild at 6 p.m. Central. We are currently trying to stop the continuing apocalypse. It's fine.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bum.
Everything's fine.
Everything is okay.
I'm also working on the Hounds of Hearsome, also on the World's Guild. We are currently fighting the Fae, who have eaten the internet access in Canada. But we have episodes on the way. It is a fun little romp through the Feywild as we try to keep the Lord of the Hunt from literally eating everything in his path. But that's where you can find me.
I'm Hallie or Jalapeno, pretty much everywhere. Or Hey Jalapeno, wherever I'm not just jalapeno.
Mhm.
I'm here on Tuesdays, and then Wednesdays I'm over at the World's Guild, and then every other Saturday I'm at dinner and a game show on Twitch at 9 p.m. Eastern for Suicide Squad style D&D 5e campaign. It's an absolute blast. However, I will be taking a break from a lot of these in about 2 weeks because I'm going to be moving thousands upon thousands of miles away and be homeless for a month.
Hi, I'm Son of Asgard on TikTok, where I do D&D shit. I'm starting a new series soon. It's going to feature my daughter. She's cute and she's 10 months old.
Oh,
You should definitely come and
She's
see
cute.
it.
is she a power
She's the
gamer?
cutest fucking squish I have ever seen.
I'm gonna do a dad part
I'm
thing.
I'm gonna take those little cheeks. I'm gonna squish them.
I'm gonna do like
Keep that baby.
there's
away
a
from me.
bard and he's doing the typical bard shit, and then like one day one of his past interactions leaves like a baby on his doorstep, and it's like, hey, this is your 10-month-old daughter. And then it's like all the jokes of like, hey, bard, quick, seduce the dragon. And instead of being like, okay, I got this, he's like, I don't know, guys, is she a good role model? Like, what's she gonna be like around the dark,
The little baby
Um,
Bjorn thing going.
Yeah, like going out on adventures with the baby there. Anyway, so I've got that going. I also have my own Twitch channel, which is World Tree Quests. I have D&D there on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And I've also got something coming up on Thursdays. We got the Forming, which is the origin of my homebrew world, and that's at 5 p.m. CST every Monday. Then over on the World's Guild, our sister channel, I've got To the Skies every Wednesday at 6 p.m. CST. Every Friday, I have the Tides of Chaos, which is piracy, at 5:30 p.m. CST. On Saturdays at 12 p.m. CST, I've got the Girl Squad, which is an all-female, all non-binary, gender fluid, everything but guys. cast doing shenanigans and being diplomats while also nuking things from orbit. And then on Sundays at 11 a.m. CST, I have the Wayward Path, which is anti-heroes, and currently they're fighting Saw, but in D&D. And on Thursdays, pretty soon, I'm going to be starting a new mini campaign, which is going to be based on Alice in Wonderland. And it's just going to be fucking insane. I'm going to make like all the party. It's basically in the head of one coma victim. And basically, the coma victim is the only one that knows that this is a fucking dream. The rest of the party are all convinced this is real. And whenever the coma victim's character, whenever they die, everybody swaps character sheets, but they play the new character in the exact same personality as their old character.
That's chaos.
Oh,
That's
gonna be
absolute
fucking great.
madness.
It's gonna be fucking great. I can't wait. Yeah. Other than that, I'm writing a D&D book. Yeah,
woo!
that's the thing too. But yeah, that's me. Bye.
All right, I am Improv GM on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube. Currently, my Sunday game is on a bit of a streaming hiatus while we do an improv, or we do a Unknown Armies game that will, before we get back to our Masks game. And I might be picking up another streaming campaign here in a little bit. I'm trying to decide on a few things yet. So we will catch you all later.